Good morning to all the students, faculty members, resource person, and regional center officials. I, on behalf of Indira Gandhi National Open University Regional Center, Visakhapatnam, welcome you all for today's webinar titled National Education Policy 2020 Relevance for New India. As you are all aware, Indira Gandhi National Open University is the first open university which has adopted the new education policy 2020. Accordingly, the curriculum has been redesigned and updated and also offering the different programs in the lines of the new education policy 2020. And also we have organized several activities during these 5 years of the period from the 2020 to 2025 to create the awareness and also to explain the importance of the NEP 2020 and how it is going to help the students for their bright future, as well as to increase the skilling, as well as enhancing the employment ability, and also proper training during their education at the college level and the university level also. In the same way, Indira Gandhi National Open University across the country, in all our 56 regional centers, we are today celebrating this 5 years of National Education Policy 2020 by organizing different activities. This main objective of this webinar is to create the awareness among the students, particularly young students like you from the different colleges, particularly Government Women's College, Visakhapatnam, and other study center students also. You all should know about the NEP 2020, how it is going to help you. That's why this webinar has been organized by our IGNO Regional Center, Visakhapatnam. Now, I request our Senior Regional Director, Dr. Dharma Rao, to give the initial and presidential remarks of this webinar. Dr. Dharma Rao, please.
Thank you, Dr. Krishna Rao. And I warmly welcome all the students, academic counselors, study center coordinators, faculty, and especially we have a guest today, Dr. P. Kankarao, faculty from Assam University, Department of Political Science. I warmly welcome all of you to this gathering on the eve of completion of 5 years of national education policy for transforming Indian education system. And I also take this opportunity to thank my learned friend, Dr. P. Kankarao, Department of Political Science, Assam University, for giving consent to this address on NEP 2020. Within a short time, he accepted our invitation, and I sincerely thank him for this kind gesture, and I warmly welcome him to this webinar. Thank you, Dr. Kankara. And I also thank all the participants for joining this. As you all know, 5 years ago, on the same day, 29th July 2020, in the middle of the COVID pandemic situation, India, the government of India has announced and released the National Education Policy 2020. As you all know, it was due to the hard work of a high-powered committee led by former ISRO chief Kasturi Rangan, and it is the third educational policy after 1968 and 1986. And of course, in the modern era, this is the one we have. And its aim is also to modernize the Indian educational system, but within the grassroots of the Indian culture, Indianness. So, with the roots of Indianness to modernize the education, this is the basic objective of National Education Policy 2020. For any policy, a national-wise policy in a larger populated country like India, 5 years is a very meager time. And it is the initial period only. So, to get the outcome of any policy for that matter, we need not many years to see. But we are celebrating this occasion, the 5 years of national education policy, just because to rededicate ourselves for its better implementation in such a way that we have a holistic and inclusive education system in our country. As you know, NEP 2020 focused on foundational education and multidisciplinary education and a skill-based, skill-oriented education, digital education, with giving access to each and every corner of this country, to each and every people, and to enhance the gross enrollment ratio in higher education, and to promote the research and vocational training in the country. And also, it is prioritizing the mother language, the mother tongue in the education system. And also, we can see the promotion of Indian traditional knowledge systems. This is also a part of our national education policy. And of course, internationalization of education is also among the other objectives. So, before going into the guest lecture by Dr. P. Kanakara, I would like to highlight some of the aspects that were implemented as a part of NEP 2020 in the Indira Gandhi National Open University. As you all know, IGNOU is the front runner in the implementation of NEP 2020, and it has developed an NEP cell long back. And also, prior to that, some of the aspects which were spelled in the NEP 2020 they were already practiced in Indira Gandhi National Open University, like lateral entry, multiple exit, these kind of things, and multidisciplinary system and credit transfer. So all these aspects which were dealt in the national education policy, focused in the national education policy, were already there existing in the Indira Gandhi National Open University since long back. So we are the front runners in the implementation of NEP 2020. And of course, we have also made many changes in our curriculum, in our pedagogy, and in our instructional system to meet the expectations of National Education Policy 20. IGNOU, as like any other central university, we have also gone with the 4-year undergraduate programs. Now we have announced more than 30 4-year undergraduate programs in Indira Gandhi National Open University with major subjects. And multiple entry, multiple exit system is also existing there in IGNOU, and now it is also stabilized. And it is with many other programs also. And regarding internationalization, we have already established many study centers abroad. And now that is again revisited in the light of NEP 2020. Academic Bank of Credits already implemented in IGNOU. And most of the students who have taken admission into IGNOU, they must have witnessed this ABC ID while they were applying for the examinations. Without that, it is not accepting any examination. So we have also coming to the Indian knowledge system, the major ambit of NEP 2020. IGNO has introduced several academic programs: Indian Vedic studies, Bhagavad studies in Bhagavad Gita, Hindu studies, Sanskrit, Vedic mathematics, Jyotish, folklore and culture. All these aspects they have already taken and they have made into academic programs, that too in the postgraduate level. So IGNO has already implemented all these programs. They have announced and they are registering students in all these programs, and we are admitting students into these programs across the country. Even Visakhapatnam Regional Center is also admitting many students in the MA in Jyotish, MA in Vedic studies, MA in Bhagavad Gita studies, Sanskrit, etc. So, IGNO is there always in the implementation of NEP 2020. And of course, when we see countrywide the implementation of NEP 2020, apart from IGNO, there may be some delay, but almost all the groups in the country, they have accepted provisionally the main objectives behind the national education policy. And there might be some delay in implementing some of the aspects, but as a total, it is an universal policy which will be taking the country ahead into the next generation and a new India. So to talk about all these aspects, we have our friend Dr. P. Kanakara, faculty, political science, Assam University. He will be talking to us. He will be telling us what exactly the national education policy is for the new India, as the topic suggests. And with these few words, I would like to take leave. And I request my learned friend Dr. Krishna Rao, Additional Director, Regional Center, Visakhapatnam, to introduce our chief guest, Dr. P. Kanakara. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Dharmarao, for your brief introduction as well as the progress of the NEP in our Indira Gandhi National Open University. I take this opportunity to introduce Professor P. Kanakarao, who also known to me. He was the senior to me when we were pursuing our PhD in University of Hyderabad. It is a great opportunity, and also I feel very happy to introduce him to the audience. Professor P. Kanakarao had joined in the Assam University, Silchar in 2004, and from that day onwards, he is working in the Assam University. He has completed his master degree from University of Hyderabad, MPhil also from the University of Hyderabad, and PhD from Assam University. And also, he has joined in the JNU for his research work. Later on, he moved to the Assam University and completed his PhD. And his specialization in the political science, particularly Western political thought, Indian political thought, Gandhi and Tagore, civil society, philosophy of the social sciences. For his credit, he got the gold medal in the master degree level at the University of Hyderabad, and also for his credit, he got the best research data collection award from the Andhra Pradesh state, and also he has published good number of research articles in the national and international journals. At the same time, he has published a good number of the edited books, and he has given the several talks on the philosophy of the political thought, or on the Gandhi thought at the same time on this NEP, National Education Policy, also on the different national and international platforms. I really thank on behalf of the Indira Gandhi National Open University with a very short notice, particularly that really shows our closeness and also Dr. Dharma Rao's friendship with Professor Kanakarao. He immediately has agreed to deliver this lecture in spite of his busy schedule, taking the classes or guiding the research students in the Assam University. Sir, we are very thankful to you, sir. And also now I request Professor P. Kanakarao to deliver the lecture on the NEP 2020 relevance for New India. Thank you, sir. Please.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Krishna Rao. And am I audible?
Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah. Uh, 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 Dear Senior Director, Dr. Dharma Rao, Dr. Krishna Rao. So I'm very happy to deliver this to deliver this short lecture. It's a pleasure for me, not just because I'm delivering this lecture to Regional Center, Vishakhapatnam, Indira Gandhi National Open University. It's also a pleasure for me to see online both of my friends and fellow travelers on this occasion. I hope both of you are doing fine. And thanks for the opportunity, Dr. Dharmara. And it's also, I would like to congratulate Indira Gandhi National, and also very good morning to all the participants across Andhra Pradesh, all the coordinators of the regional center, and students from Women's College participating in this program to rededicate ourselves, and specifically IGNOU, to aims and objectives of National Education Policy 2020. So I would like to congratulate all of you once again for gathering here via online, and I would speak for say 40 minutes, and later on I believe there will be an opportunity for interaction with all of you, and it's a pleasure really for me. And starting with New Education Policy 2020, Relevance for New India. It's a title that I've chosen for today's delivery. I'm not actually looking into its implementation for the last 5 years. Going by common sense, implementation of NEP 2020 is going at remarkable speed. The speed is remarkable. It's going at much faster pace than it was supposed to be, given the politics of the country and all. When you get into democratic protocols and procedures, implementation of any policy takes a lot of time. It's both a boon as well as a bane, in the sense when a policy takes a lot of time in implementation, it gives scope for discussion, deliberation, and dissent. But what happens is simultaneously it delays the process. So when the process is delayed, the fruits of the process are also delayed, whereby we can't advance or progress. Having said that, so last 5 years, implementation is going at a remarkable speed, according to me, it's my personal opinion, and several individuals, committees, associate participants, policy makers are involved in all this implementation. So, but I'm not talking about implementation as such today, and it's not scope of my lecture, but I would be focusing on the essence. I would be focusing on spirit. I would be focusing on words, or more specifically, I would be focusing on concepts. I would be focusing on concepts involved or invoked in talking about new education policy, sorry, national education policy. So, what are the concepts used which will, in a sense, uh, direct implementation of national education policy? Say, just let me introduce the terms within the title of my talk. The terms are, say, for instance, New India. So, what is New India? Why would we want to call ourselves a New India? It is just a name, or it is just a thrill for something new, or it speaks of something substantially different from old India. It is, when I say new India, it is substantially different from India before 2000, before 1990s. So, when it is substantially different, when the present India, new India, is different from the previous era, so naturally you need a different educational policy for new India. So I'm just saying it's a new India, and you need a new educational policy. So what is that new India? The new India is like, it's a new India because it is. I would borrow the phrase that Swami Vivekananda urged Indians way back in 1880s, 90s, etc., 1890s. So he urged Indians to awake, arise, and stop not. To awake, arise, and stop not. So new India is awakening India. It's awakening. It's getting up. It's an awakening to its spirit. It's awakening to the spirit of India. So it's an awakening India. It's an India growing conscious about its spirit, its role, its future, without losing its ground or the past. So a new India is an awakening India, which is otherwise in economic terms, it's called as aspirational India. Aspirational India. Aspirational in the sense dreaming, desire to change, to grow. So it's a new India, it's an awakening India. When I say new awakening, these are not just rhetoric or just empty words. In awakened India, what we see is huge number of people, large number of the population participating in economy, participating in national reconstruction. So now you have large number of people participating in national construction, national reconstruction. So this has been made possible because of course, economic liberalization. Economic liberalization has opened up opportunities for middle classes, which also simultaneously created a large huge middle class. So this middle class, which began with software, which began with service sector, has opened up opportunities for new ideas and new inventions. So this middle class participation in the economy, it could not be happy with old idea of India. It could not be happy with old idea of India. It needed a new idea of India. It could not be happy with old idea of India. It needed a new idea of India. So this new idea of India is aspirational, is awakened. So what it wants is, say for example, I'll go via an example. Say earlier, the aim of an education is to join the school, get a government job, stay on in the government job till you retire, and that's the aim of the education. I'm not saying that all that past was wrong. It is important to serve the nation as a part of a government job. You need a lot of people to serve government at some point of time. But now the goal of individuals and goal of the nation is changing. Goal of the individuals and goal of the nation is changing. Don't end up as a teacher or don't end up in a government job. Sky is the limit. There are innumerable opportunities opened up by new economy, which is often talked about as startups, unicorns. So you just don't end up in a government job. Instead, to explore your full potential, you need opportunities or you need to start on your own. So don't expect that the government would come in and help, but it is also you can start and you can grow and you can be an entrepreneur and you can realize yourself in the process of being an entrepreneur. So this is new India. This is new India. You need education policy for India, not just wanting to end up in a government job, but you need education policy for India, which wants to which wants to be entrepreneurs, which wants to serve the country through economy, which wants to serve the public, which wants to create arts. So here, the new India, awakened India, wanting to create an India. It is not taking what is given by the rulers. It is wanting to create an India. So when an India wanting to create itself afresh, you need an educational policy that suits new India. So what is national education? So I'm coming to the first part of national education policy. So national education is like national education. Here the term nation is used. It's not used just, I always get confused between nation and new. I thought it's new education policy, but it's national education policy. So you need to educate a nation that is wanting to create itself afresh and taking up challenges. So what is a nation? So nation, I'll make here slightly a difficult word. So nation means it's not a loose collection of individuals. It's not individuals coming together, but nation, the entire national education policy text document, which is some 60 pages, it invokes an organismic, invokes an organismic metaphor, which is to say that it imagines the entire nation and education as an organism. It imagines education as well as nation as an organism. Organism means you take human body. Human body is an organism. So if different parts of human body grow proportionately, the body will be healthy and good. But if different parts of the body grow, some parts of the body grow, some parts of the body do not grow. So your chest is not growing, but your hips are growing. Your legs are not working, but your shoulders are strong. So that is not a right organism. So organism means all parts of the nation are interconnected. So national development means where all parts of the nation should be interconnected and they should develop together. They should develop together. They should not go in different paths. They should go in one path. So they should grow together. So growing together as a nation and new education policy document invokes an idea of education and nation as organism. So otherwise, the previous education policies, 1986, 1968, I suppose, I'm not sure, they assume that education is merely a rational exercise. But this document assumes that education, nation is an organism whereby all the parts should grow together. Growing together is important. And the key ideal of the individual. So according to new education policy, what new education policy wants to make of its people? New education policy, what is its objective? The new education policy, its objective is holistic development. Holistic development of individual. Holistic development of the individual. Holistic development of the individual. In earlier times, it is being said multifaceted development. Multifaceted development or all-round development. All-round development. Multifaceted development. Holistic development. So what is holistic development or multi-dimensional, multi-faceted development or all-round development? So it is, as I said, all the aspects of the nation developing simultaneously. All the aspects means economic aspect, social aspect, cultural aspect, spiritual aspect, etc. So all aspects, that's about nation. All aspects of the nation should develop in the same path, not in different paths, in the same path. So what is that? What is holistic development in the context of individual? In the context of the individual, holistic development is full realization, total realization of the potential. Potential. Total realization of the potential. So, what is the potential? Your potential is to be creative, to create. Total potential is to create, to flourish. So, human beings' potential is to create, to flourish. So, not total potential, our potential. Our potential means, okay, I studied well, I got the job, then I will sleep. I have a family life, I'm very busy, I have a lot of problems, headache, stomach ache, etc. So, this is not realization of full potential. Full potential means education should enable an individual to develop all aspects of his personality for the sake of the nation. For the sake of the nation and for himself. When I say I'm working for the sake of the nation, it doesn't mean I'm working for the sake of the nation. I'm working for myself. And in working for myself, I am working for the nation. In working for myself, I am working for the nation. When the nation grows, individual also grows. But apart from that, it is also essential for individual to fully realize his potential. Suppose what happens if an individual is unable to realize his full potential? If an individual is unable to realize his full potential. So I get into drinking, I get into murders, I get into terrorism, I get into drugs, I get into wife beating, I get into all kinds of social ills because I am internally unhappy. Why I am internally unhappy? Because I'm good. All of us are good at some point, something. But we are not able to realize that good. Say, for example, Pushpa 2. Pushpa 2 is good, but he could not study. He could not become a proper entrepreneur. Why? I can say our education system has failed him. Our education system could not draw Pushpa 2 into education system. He is energetic, he is aspirational, he has desire, but he didn't study because education system is too limited for him. So national education policy aims at full realization of individual contributing to all-round development of the nation. Contributing to all-round development of the nation. So national education policy drew its inspiration, where it drew its inspiration apart from many other things that the people talk about, drew its inspiration from a UN conference held in 2015. From a UN conference held in 2015. UN conference held in 2015 of some nearly 150 leaders met in New York at the headquarters of United Nations, and they thought over the future of the world. The future of the world. When they thought about the future of the world, they realized the globe is going to burn. Human race is going to come to an end. Human race is going to kill itself. Why? Because of the development model that the world is pursuing. Because of the development model, basically environment, destruction of the environment, which is leading to the destruction of the human species as a whole. Human species as a whole. So they met, they thought over it, they thought over the future of the humanity, and they formulated what is called transforming our world, the 2030 agenda for sustainable development. Transforming our world, transforming our world, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Within that 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, you have 17 sustainable development goals. You have 17 sustainable developmental goals and 169 targets. And among the 17 sustainable developmental goals, Sustainable Developmental Goal 4, Sustainable Developmental Goal 4 seeks to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education. Seeks to ensure, underline these words, inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong opportunities for all by 2030. Seeks to ensure inclusive and equitable. See, remember these words: inclusive, equitable, quality education, and promote lifelong opportunities for all by 2030. So this is also quoted by New Education Policy Document 2020. This quote is actually from New Education Policy Document 2020, and it is emphasizing on same goals that SDG, Sustainable Development Goal 4, the part of our world 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, and SDG 4 talks about education. So what it talks about? It talks about inclusive, equitable, quality education. Inclusive, equitable, quality education. So I'll talk about some 3, 4, 5 ideals which new education policy takes it very seriously, and which is the core of new educational policy. Core. So core is everything. So core of new education policy, the first thing is, uh, the context of new education policy is to prepare for awakening new India. So what is that? What such a new education policy requires? We have changed environment. So the changed environment is like you have changed environment is like you have huge number of human adult population in India. Europe and China, they are having elderly population, while India has this boon of huge adult population. And world is also in a very crucial stage in terms of economic advancement. New technologies are coming. New technologies are going to alter our life fundamentally, basically. Say you talk about, which you get to hear all the time in Andhra Pradesh, being in Andhra Pradesh, AI, artificial intelligence, AI, quantum computing, blockchain technology, bioengineering, so on and so forth. So the engines of economy. At some point, when India began, we said agriculture is the backbone. Now the engines of economy are in artificial intelligence, bioengineering, environment, sustainable development, so on and so forth. So your education should prepare for that. So it requires so from understanding from the ills of the past education, we have new education policy emphasized as its goals on say some 5-6, which I can summarize in terms of some 5-6 ideals of new education policy. One is quality, flexibility, quality, flexibility, inclusiveness or access, equity, equity, then skill development or what is called vocational education, etc. So I'll just talk about each of those ideals. Quality, importance of quality in education, from school education to higher education. Say importance of quality. Say mm, say earlier education was intended for one time examination. You go to college, you don't go to the college, stay at home by heart. Rote learning means ma 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 ma. This is rote learning. So that all of you are doing, because IGNOU material is very standard. It is difficult to understand unless you do rote learning. So rote learning, you pass the examination, you get a job. And there is no relation between the job and the education. You study something, you get a job of a different thing, go to office, sit. Or what you do and what your job is no connection. And say what happens is, I'm talking a different dimension of this. Say we talk about startups, unicorns, contributing to economic development, everybody becoming entrepreneur, etc. Say what happens is, because of the faults of our earlier education system, when you talk about California or US or China, their startups are focusing on new inventions. Their startups are focusing on breakthroughs in AA. Our startups are focusing on Swiggy, Zomato, online delivery, but we are not able to create anything new. It's because of our education system for past 50 years, and our education system should focus in creating original innovations. So creating original innovations, it doesn't happen unless the education system consistently focuses from childhood to higher education on quality. So unless you provide quality education, unless you provide best education from childhood to higher education and PhD and onwards, so it's not possible to go with original innovations. Unless you have original innovations, you cannot claim that we are a global power, we are a global superpower. So why you want to be a global superpower? Why can't you remain without just like that? You can be an ordinary nation. Why to global superpower? You have to be global superpower to contribute to the world, to contribute to the harmony of the world, to contribute to the understanding of the world. So you are the best person. So you should contribute your best to the collective. So if you're a great nation, you become a great if you contribute to the collective. So India is lacking in original innovations, original research, fundamental research. So all original research, say you spend a lot, but the yield on original research is enormous. If you invent something new, and the yield and the returns you get in the long term, not in the short term. So we are depending on Russia. We are for space technology. We were dependent on America for defense technology. So we were depending on France for F-16 aeroplanes. We are depending on someone else for Boeings. That's all understandable because we won independence only 50, 70 years ago.
Some
Cut అయిపోయాడా?
చిన్న కనెక్షన్ ప్రాబ్లం ఏదైనా ఉంది. వన్ సెట్.
ఓకే.
Okay, you are back. Unmute yourself. Yeah.
So I'm really sorry. I just got off the meeting. And so original innovation is possible only if your education system is suited to deliver original innovations. So for this, you need quality education, and quality education should start at school level. It should start at school level. It should start at so one aspect which I found very striking when I read National Education Policy 2020, it emphasizes on, just give me a minute. So one aspect that struck me about school education was early child care. Early child care, or it is being said when child is between 3 to 6 years of age, his or her mind is at its best development. So development not just in terms of its intelligence, cognitive capacities, but development in terms of its emotional well-being. Emotional well-being. So emotional development takes place at the age of 3 to 6. You have best of the people. They are very highly well learned, but they lack emotional balance. Some people. So emotional development of a child is to be taken care according to national education policy by the school itself. So what happens earlier? Earlier there was no scope for emotional development. Yes, there was emotional development. There were villages, there were communities, there were friends, groups, etc. So earlier, the responsibility of emotional development was with the family, was with the village, with the community. Now with modernization, urbanization, large number of families are out of natural communities. So they are living into nuclear families which lacks emotional support for children. So new educational policy to achieve quality education emphasizes on emotional development at a very early stage of their education. So it has divided emotional development, numerical capacities, language capacities. All these should be focused at an early level, and then I'm just talking about the second ideal. Second ideal is flexibility or choice. So in the earlier system of education, where 10 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2, I'm talking about school and then college, intermediate college, and then graduation. What happens is once student finishes his primary basic education till 10th, after that, there was no choice. There was no choice. So there was no choice in the sense you have to grow into either science stream or biology stream or arts stream. But now the government, with new education policy, they came out with a scope for enormous choice for student to choose from, with a scope for enormous choice to choose from. In the sense, a student can choose physics, music, and say mathematics. A student can choose politics, economics, and something like pot making. So, education system, in the pursuit of excellence, flexibility is necessary. Flexibility, whereby student can choose from enormous variety of courses. So what happens with this is it makes student uh, not to destroy himself, not to do something for the sake of examination, not to do something for the sake of the job. It allows student to learn things with happiness. When he can learn things with happiness, what happens is he can happily use all that for the sake of his own career, his own development, and national development. So flexibility means choice. Choice between diversity of courses, choice also between academic education to vocational education, skill training. So a student can simultaneously be trained in basic sciences or basic arts and humanities, and also in vocational practical skill based education. But as the document has spoken uh, a lot about looking down upon vocational education, and it emphasizes that universities and colleges should come up with models whereby they can train students in vocational education. So I'm talking about flexibility. And at this research level also, there should be flexibility. There should be hallowed disciplinary boundaries should be broken. So when I spoke about a holistic, it is also about multidisciplinary education. So I am political science, end up as political science in life. So I can do some economics, I can do some science policy, I can do some distance education, I can do some AI, so all these possibilities are there when I can meaningfully bring together all these things. Politics means I'm not leaving my political science education when I speak of AI. I'll be focusing on political field and relevance of AI, artificial intelligence, in public sphere or in governance, etc. So this multidisciplinarity, flexibility is also going along with assurance of quality. So one of the objectives of national education policy is high quality research. High quality research. Encourage high quality research. So they suggested forming a national research foundation. So I'll talk about two more aspects and then I'll stop. The two more aspects is like access and equity. Access and equity. Access means to equity is different. Equity means like joining the universities, schools, and colleges, and thereby experiencing equal opportunities there to learn. Inclusiveness or access means those who cannot make it to schools, those who cannot make it to colleges, those who cannot make it to universities, they should be encouraged to make it to universities, particularly girls or women. And new education policy talks about new education policy talks about SCDs, socially and economically disadvantaged. Somehow it doesn't talk about old rhetoric, SC, ST, OBC, women, etc. It doesn't use. It uses a new rhetoric that is called socio-economically disadvantaged, not just socially, economically disadvantaged. So it should provide, education should provide access to large number of people from different sections of the society, because education means not education for elite but education for everyone. And that is what UN conference on sustainable development also emphasizes on: equal access and equity and equal access, inclusiveness and equity. And one more thing that I would like to focus upon, which I have not spoken about: culture. Culture, which Honorable Director, uh, Regional Center Vishakhapatnam was talking about. They were able to introduce Vedic mathematics, Sanskrit studies, traditional, preserving tradition, etc. So I'll just make one point, say, making building character is also objectives of new education policy. Building character, building values, culture. So culture is what we always have. But what education is supposed to is, when we are losing sense of our values and culture, it should imbibe respect for our culture. Respect for our culture. So what is our culture? Our culture is our culture, and why to respect it? We are living in our own culture. A nation job is not just accepting culture as it is. So for last 100 years, beginning of nationalist movement onwards, we are making our culture. We would like to make a culture which is modern, which is rational, which is scientific. So Nehruji used to say scientific temper among the citizens is essential, because he thought the country is going to be divided between communities, castes. That's what Britishers said. You can't rule yourself. You can't rule yourself as a nation. You're going to break, your democracy is going to be destroyed. You people don't have a culture of self-rule. So that's why Nehruji was emphasizing on scientific temper, free from superstition. But new education policy emphasizes on reorienting one's own culture. Reorienting to one's own culture. Reorienting to one's own culture means which one? Reorienting to one's own culture means whose culture is it? There is a national culture. National culture. There is a national culture. So what is the national culture? So it has been defined differently by different people. So say, for instance, respect for all the communities. Unity in diversity. Unity in diversity. Tolerance. Tolerance. Inquiry, critical inquiry. So these are some of the values of our culture, because it is culture which makes an individual rooted, grounded, and emotional development possible. So I spoke about national education policy 2020, whose objective was to prepare ourselves to emerging India or new India, which which objective is to holistic development of the individual and the nation quality. I emphasized on quality, flexibility, equity, access, skill education, and I did not talk about digital education, which IGNOU is pioneering and has been pioneering. And I once again thank Regional Director Dr. Dharmarao and Dr. Krishna Rao, and both of them my friends too. So, but still, formally, I thank them for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Uh, Thank you, sir, for your very elaborative an informative session, particularly on the concepts of the national education policy. It is very useful to our students. Now the floor is open. I request the students any questions because of Professor Pankarao is having the vast experience and also having the vast knowledge on the particular topic. He is a apt personality to give the proper answers, and you all have listened. Is almost all 45 minutes of the lecture where is point wise he has very analytically analyzed and each concept, particularly different inclusiveness of this education system, and other concepts also he has very clearly explained. Please make use of this opportunity. I request the students, please raise your hand and ask the questions. Vivek, Mr. Vivek.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, please, Mr. Vivek,
Thank you
ask
for
the
your
question.
yes, sir. Kankara, sir, thank you for your speech on national education policy. Sir, I have two questions, sir. The first question is, what is the role of state syllabus, sir? We have seen this implementation in NCRT and CBSE syllabus starting from the primary education since 2021-22. It is slowly implementing with all the CBSE, but what about the state syllabus role in this national education policy? Is it in sync with the national education policy or not? And the second question is, what is the future of distance education in regards with national education policy? Sir? Because many of for higher studies, many of the universities for any research, these distance education they are denying the distance education. Only full course of education they are expecting. So, what is the role of the national education policy for promoting the distance education for further studies? Thank you, sir.
So, shall I respond or?
Yes, yes,
Yes, sir,
please,
please,
please.
please.
Yeah. So coming to the second question first, distance education, role of distance education. So distance education has enormous role to play because now it's not just any longer offline school or college and all. So you have varieties of platforms offering digital online education like Swayam. You have MOOC courses, and government is going to develop a repository of lakhs of courses whereby you will learn most of the things online. So there is a difference between learning with a teacher and of online, but online courses are no less. So if some look down upon distance education is taking place, that is because the policy makers and policy is still steeped in old values. Steeped in old values. Old value means unless you have go to school or college, you are not educated. So that old values are slowly dying, but the policy makers they are not able to realize that, and administrators they are not able to realize that. But it's all past. So distance education is equally valued as any college or university education, and I think there won't be any disadvantage for pursuing distance education. And we know the credibility of IGNOU in that. So some of us read IGNOU textbooks for some courses. Yeah. And the first one, what about the state syllabus? I don't have much idea. but it's between the center and the state, but I have no idea. First thing I can't answer exactly. First question I cannot answer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Kanakarao. And any other students, even you can ask in our regional language, Telugu. Professor Kanakarao is also from our Andhra Pradesh only. He can give the answers. I request, I think, from the regional center, Panaji, Dr. Srinivas, regional director, or Dr. Sish Kumar, deputy director. Okay, if no questions or the clarifications, I request Dr. Dharmarao to give the final remarks. Later, we will go for the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Krishnarao. At the outset, I sincerely thank Dr. Kanakarao, my good friend. And after a long time, I witnessed a talk from him. After leaving university, we could not have any opportunity to listen to him. A vastly read man and a thought-provoking talk, particularly for us in the administration of distance education and implementing the national education policy as such. But we are not into the specifications of what exactly the national education policy is intended for. Of course, we are offering more courses. We are preparing different multiple entry, multiple exit courses. We are preparing pathways for the students for different opportunities created out of the national education policy objectives. But still, the core principles and the philosophy behind the national education policy and how it can impact the future India, the coming India, it's really a very good talk for us personally also. And the vision through which we look at the national education policy will certainly differs from today after listening to Dr. P. Kanakarao. Thank you very much. This is a very good session for all of us, including the students, for the academic counselors and all. And coming to Mr. Vivek question, which was not taken by our guest, Dr. Kanakarao, regarding the syllabus of state syllabus. I mean, if I am not wrong, he was asking regarding the implementation at the state level, what exactly it can be, the structure, the curriculum of the state. See, in India, as already I told in my initial remarks, for any policy in the larger populated India, it takes a lot of time for its implementation in total. But still, many states have already adopted, including Andhra Pradesh. For that matter, including Andhra Pradesh, has adopted the national education policy as it is, and they have started implementing it since the last government session itself. Now, it's not new. So the current government is also continuing the same thing. And but for separating the schools, restructuring the schools, restructuring the syllabus in line with the national education policy or in line with the CBSE syllabus, it takes time. But the government of Andhra Pradesh is now doing that exercise very seriously, and maybe in the coming 4 to 5 years, we will be witnessing the major change, a shift in the educational system of our state also. So thank you very much, Dr. Kanakarao and all others for joining this session. And I sincerely thank my friend Kanakarao for accepting our invitation once again. And we will be utilizing your services again for more sessions for our students, particularly in the area of social sciences, research methodology, etc. We will take support from you for our students to give some more inputs from other sources. Thank you very much
Thank you.
for your acceptance.
Thank you.
Now I request Mr. Venkatapati Rao Garu, Section Officer of Regional Center Visakhapatnam, to propose formal vote of thanks. Thank you. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Okay, sir, no audible. Okay, so thank you. Good afternoon to everyone present here. And it is my honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks for today's insightful and enriching session on the National Education Policy 2020. First and foremost, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Professor P. Kankarao Garu, who took time out of his busy schedule to share their valuable insight and a deep understanding of NEP 2020. Sir, your words have enlightened us about the key pillars of this policy: access, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability, and have certainly given us a lot to reflect on, implement in our respective roles. A big thanks to our Dr. Dharma Rao Garu, Senior Regional Director, and Dr. Krishna Rao Garu, Additional Director, for your vision and continuous encouragement in organizing such a relevant and timely discussions. Your leadership plays a crucial role in embracing the spirit of this policy and translating it into action. To our teacher, faculty members, and educationists, thank you for your being here and for your commitment and adapting to the progressive change NEP 2020 envisions, such as multidisciplinary learning, skill development, and the emphasis on mother tongue and holistic education. To our dear students, you are the real beneficiaries of this transformation. Thank you for your being attentive, curious, and participative today. The future of our nation rests in your capable hands. A special thanks to the organizing team for their meticulous planning and seamless coordination that made today's event a success, particularly the coordinators and program in charges of their study centers and the learners. Finally, to each one of you in the webinar, thank you for your presence, your questions, and your willingness to engage in dialogue about the future of education in our country. Let us now move forward with renewed inspiration to make the vision of NEP 2020 a great reality, where education is not just a mean to livelihood, but a path to personal growth, critical thinking, and nation building. Thanks, and once again to all, Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
Thanks to Dr. Sirisha. Thank you.